going on, everybody? Good morning, good evening, wherever you are, wherever you're located. My name is Jesus. This is my buddy Asante. We're about to start filming our podcast, Two Guys, One Garage. What's up, everybody? You're watching Two Guys,
One Garage.
I'm here with my best friend Asante Martin.
And I'm here with Jesus Rodriguez.
And let's get started. What's up, brother? How are you doing?
Pretty good. Quick little recap. Anything new this week?
Anything new? No, not really. I mean, I dropped a watch shenanigans video on my personal channel. You know, just some watch shenanigans at work. In my personal life, me and my wife, we're doing some spring cleaning. So we're decluttering and throwing a whole bunch of stuff away, which is very stressful when you... The process is stressful because you see the clutter in your house. You see everything's just a mess. But then you start throwing things away and the anxiety comes down, the stress level comes down, and you start feeling a little better. And then you see your space just grow because you have less clutter. So yesterday, luckily, I was off, and we pretty much spent the whole day just kind of working on the kitchen.
You said you're trying to get like another cabinet, right?
Yeah. So we're gonna declutter. We started with the kitchen yesterday. We're not quite done yet, but we started with the kitchen. We're gonna move ourselves to the living room and to all the rooms in our closets. And when we finish, we're gonna reward ourselves with probably 2 cabinets for the kitchen, like a butler's pantry and then a cabinet. So, but yeah, that's about it. Nothing much. What about you?
I love decluttering because that's just piles and piles and piles, you know. And it gets kind of, you feel it. You definitely feel it. For me, this week, I've been posting a whole bunch of videos. As you guys have been seeing, I've been really pushing out the shorts. I'm aiming for like 2 a day at least, if I can do that. Sometimes it works, so I can't hit that quota. But as long as I can get 2 a day, I'm feeling pretty ecstatic. Other than today's autocross, so...
Oh, that's right. You're going to go to autocross.
Yeah, I'm going to go to autocross, so hopefully I get another video out for you guys.
That explains the shoes. I should have put 2 together.
Yeah, I got the Sparko Racing shoes, so I'm ready to party. That way I can get another video on my own personal channel, because I've been slacking on that, you know, but that's okay.
What car are you going to take out there?
Taking out the S2000.
Taking the S2000.
I didn't finish the Evo in time, so...
What's wrong with the Evo?
I'm replacing the suspension.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
You didn't tell me this.
Yeah.
What are you taking off or putting on?
Putting on some new lower control arms.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
sure.
It's adjustable. That way I can adjust caster and camber and all that kind of stuff and track with.
Nice.
And I'm trying not to cut the car up, but...
Don't cut the car up, please.
I might cut the car up,
No,
guys.
don't cut the car up,
I might cut
please.
the car up. Life's too short.
No, don't do it.
Life is too short,
don't
guys.
Do it. Cut the 240 up. Don't cut that one up.
Life is too short.
Cut the Porsche up. Don't cut that one.
Life is too short. I'm sorry.
But you want to get into today's question?
All
Actually,
right.
I had a fun one, I guess you could say. A little bit of regret, I guess you could say, in there. What's the worst thing you've purchased?
Let's see. Worst thing I've ever purchased. Worst thing I ever purchased. I'm trying to think.
Dun, dun, dun.
I know, it's really hard because, like I said, I overthink everything, so I don't really have
at one point you had like 3 240s, so come on.
Oh, you know what? There you go.
You can't say that was one of them?
You got me there. Even that one's not that bad, but I will probably say collectively, as a collection, was buying 3 of the same exact car. And the reason being is because it just kind of becomes like a cycle where you do the same exact thing to each and every car. You know, you're kind of chasing the same thing, and it's kind of pointless unless you're using it for two different like reasons. Like, okay, this one's built for this one, this one's built for this one's built for that. Or you have 2 cars in different states. I kind of get it, 2 different locations. But when you have 2 of the same car, you're spending the same money on the same stuff, and you're kind of getting the same exact experience.
Can you tell the viewers or the people listening, what was the purpose of you getting 3 of the same cars? I mean, I know one of them. One of them had the SR20 in it.
So the purpose for me was I was actually chasing the one perfect one. That's what it was really about. I literally just wanted the one perfect one, and I was trying to build the one perfect one, and I bought a couple that were imperfect, trying to chase that perfect one.
How much capital do you think you were into all 3 at that point?
Thousands of dollars.
Like 5,000, 10,000 between the 3?
More.
15,000?
More.
20,000?
More.
25,000?
More.
Oh, don't tell. You tell me you had 3 clapped out 240s that were about 10 grand?
More.
Each?
More.
Oh my. Oh Lord.
Yeah, it gets a little
Jeez.
crazy. It's because everything's broken on the car. You're buying this old car, everything's broken, and it's the $5 here, the $20 here, $100
Oh
there. It
man,
adds up, and then next you know you sell a car, and then you lose money on the car that you sold. So you gotta count that into the equation too.
it makes sense. Yeah.
Say if I spent two or three extra $1,000 in this car, most cars are not profitable. You're selling at a loss.
Didn't our homie Fernando buy one of
Yeah,
them? He was swinging that thing. I remember, bro.
which was pretty crazy, honestly.
That was pretty
That was right.
cool.
I pretty much sold my other 240s right before they took off in price.
Yeah, I sold my my Nissan 350Z before they took off in price too. Um, Seems like right before COVID, everything was cheap and obtainable and affordable, and after COVID, everything just spiked an extra 2 to 3 grand, right?
Yeah. So my advice to the viewers: spend the extra money, get the cleanest car, you can afford. Actually, if you can't afford it, forget all that. Save up more money until you can afford it because it's going to cost you more in the long run.
For sure. That makes sense. That makes sense. So for me, this might not be the worst thing I've ever purchased, but it's definitely a lesson I took away. I impulse in an act of impulse, I bought a watch that I didn't really know a lot about. I knew what it was. I knew what the manufacturer was. I knew a little bit of the history of the watch, but I didn't really know what it was worth. I bought it to resell it, and at the time, I thought it was a good idea. I thought it was gonna be a good, easy flip, and I even felt like I got a deal on it. You know what I mean? But rather than me going home, doing some research, and coming back with a fresh head and looking into it, I just said something in me just I'm gonna buy it right now. Bought it right now. It was at a pawn shop. When you buy things from the pawn shop, 9 times out of 10 they are not refundable. And I kind of had to eat it. I ate it. I learned that lesson, and it's just one of those things where if you are not too sure, don't do it. You know what I mean? Like we have friends who've bought in vehicles, like brand new cars. They had nice cars. They already had a nice car,
Yeah.
but they went to like a dealership. They give you free coffee. They buy you lunch. They give you a ride. You know what I mean? And next thing you know, you're like, oh, maybe I do need this. Maybe I do want to buy this. Even though it's not what you love,
Yeah.
but at the time you get that hit of what are they,
Dopamine?
endorphins?
Yeah.
The dopamine,
Yeah.
and you just end up signing a contract and you're walking away with a $45,000 card that you didn't even need or want, and da 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 da. That's kind of like mine was at a very minimal scale, but I lost on it. I still have it, and I justify it in my head by telling myself that it's a
A lesson?
historic piece.
Oh,
No,
sorry.
because it's a historic piece. It's made by a manufacturer that used to make watches in the United States, like in the 1940s and 50s. But it's a lesson, and it's also like a little bit, like I say, I tell myself it's a little bit of a,
How much?
you know,
How much?
It wasn't a lot. It wasn't a lot. It wasn't a lot.
How
It was
much?
like $200. You know what I mean?
Okay, I mean, at least it couldn't. It
It
could have
was
been
not,
thousands.
it wasn't a lot.
You
Yeah,
could have lost
it wasn't a
thousands.
lot.
Yeah.
But I figured, I'd buy it for $200. I could probably sell it for like $350, $400, make a quick flip, right? No, ended up like probably worth like $80.
Dang, yeah.
Which I mean, in the grand scheme of things,
That's not bad at all.
it cost me $200, and I learned a lesson. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it's not bad at
That's
all.
actually that's not bad at all. Like 0%. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people out there that have way worse.
No,
problems.
no. But for me, it was like the lesson.
The lesson.
It
Okay.
was a lesson. It was a lesson. It's what I learned, what I took away, and how I won't do that again. You know what I mean? Like now, I go to some pawn shops, or even I message people when I'm gonna purchase something, and I'll wait. Like I'll go into that pawn shop 3 times, and I'll do research. I'll research it. I'll go see it. I'll take pictures of it, take video of it. I come back. I don't buy it just then and there, unless it's a good deal that you can't pass up. Because sometimes there is the good deals that you can't pass up, and
Yeah.
and you have to pull the trigger. But I from now I take it easy, and it wasn't a lot of money, but it was just like the lesson. But when you're trying to flip watches for a profit, and
Every dollar
and
counts,
and
huh?
you take a loss, like a net loss, you're just kind of like, no, you know what I mean? But it is what it is.
I mean, that's part of it, right? I mean, ultimately, you're gonna have all these ups and downs, but ultimately, as long as it's always going up.
Yeah, for
And
the most
you're
part, I've
winning,
had very good luck, and it's always gone up. But this one, just the fact that I was being impatient and what's it called? Probably the fact that I also hadn't bought anything recently. You know, I was looking and I hadn't found anything cool or worth buying or worth flipping. So I just said, I'm gonna get this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That impulse and that just burned me a little bit. It was just a lesson. It was a good lesson. So now I don't do that anymore.
All right. So we are going to get into the next question, guys. Next question I have for you, Chewy,
Shoot it.
is
Shoot it. Shoot it. Shoot it.
what's something you believed as a kid that's hilarious now?
Something that I believe is that's a fun question, right?
Yeah.
Do you have yours?
I actually do
Oh
have
man,
that.
I gotta think about mine. What is it?
I think everybody can relate to this, honestly. Everybody can relate to this. It's really simple. It's that adults have it figured out.
Okay, yeah,
Adults have it
I
figured
feel
out.
it.
I feel like when you were a kid, you're like, oh, you looked up to your parents. Not saying that your parents don't know whatever, but you always looked up to your parents like they know everything, like they have the answer to everything. And as you get older, you realize, bro, we know literally nothing.
They're winging it just as much as
We're
we are,
winging
right?
it. Yeah, everyone's winging it. You know, I remember you used to ask your parents, Dad, what does that do? What does this do? Now we just Google it because we realize Dad doesn't even really know. So
Right.
it's just like, you know, the whole entire idea that parents know everything when we really don't. We're just getting by.
You know, and the funny thing about that is like the questions kids be asking, brother. My 2-year-old, the questions he be asking, I'm like, man, like where you come up with this stuff? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. You know. But you know what? I heard Elon Musk say once that I heard Elon Musk. He was talking about SpaceX, and he was saying keep asking the questions that kids ask because those are the deep questions, because they're trying to figure out things. You know what I mean? So when they ask us a question and we think that it's like nonsense or we don't know how it works, that's just us not understanding it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the way Elon Musk was saying is like the way his brain works or whatever. He wants to get to the nitty gritty and actually figure that out. You know what I mean? Which I thought was pretty cool. You know?
I look up to Elon Musk. I think about him all the time, and I'm just like, okay, what would Elon Musk do? That's kind of
No way.
That's
You do
literally
that?
that's yeah.
What would Elon Musk
That
do?
became a thing for me. It's like, I mean, I don't know the guy enough to really know what he would do, but just from the whole entire ideas I've heard was like he comes up with answers as fast as possible.
Yeah,
like,
I remember when me and you were talking about it once. Remember, like I saw that he runs a couple companies. He does 5-minute board meetings for his companies. That's it. Like you got to tell me everything I need to know, and I got to give you an answer in 5 minutes. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
it comes to that idea of when you have time to think about something. Sometimes you don't do anything, but when you have a deadline, it's crunch time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like sometimes the most creative things happen when you have no time because you have to right then and there. Where when you have time, you're just kind of like, oh, I'll do it later. I'll figure it out. You know, and next thing you know,
Yeah,
you don't do nothing.
That's something I've been implementing like crazy. Is the whole entire idea of I need to come up with decisions faster. I need to come up with decisions faster. Stop overthinking. You know, like we talked about last podcast. I've been working on that a whole entire lot, and it's like the best decision is probably the fastest decision. That's what I'm starting to learn now. You know.
Yeah, I don't remember if I read it somewhere or if I saw a video on it, but I remember the example was there was an example of like a writer who was supposed to write this short novel or whatever it was. They gave him like 2 weeks to write it. You know, you remember the episode on SpongeBob where he writes the? You know what I mean? Spends the whole day and writes the. This is kind of what that author did. He just wrote the. Didn't write anything, didn't know anything about what he was going to write about. Waited till last minute, the night before it was supposed to be like published or whatever it was. Homeboy did it. Because it's crunch time, you know? You got to go. You know what I mean? Like you got to get it done. Yeah, the pressure is on, you know what I mean? But I always thought it was found hilarious. Did your parents ever tell you never eat before you go into the pool?
Oh, because you'll get a cramp?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Nowadays, I be eating whatever and I be going to the pool. You know, but they used to tell you, don't eat before you go to the pool. Your stomach will turn. Da 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 da. And now I'm just like, okay, you know. That's a silly one that I remember, but I would want to say that one of the things when you were like in elementary school, it kind of goes back to what you were saying. You feel like teachers know everything, but they don't.
Yeah, they
You
don't.
know what I mean? Like I always thought like some of my teachers knew everything, bro. You know what I mean? Everything. And I remember in the fifth grade there's a teacher I had, one of the few teachers I remember from when I was a kid. I don't remember his name entirely, but they called him like Mr. B. And dude was a cool dude, man. He was a cool dude. He was like 5'2", a white dude, cool as heck with the kids. He was like tough on us, but he was also good to us. You know what I mean? He was like the
Yeah, that
perfect
balance.
band. He was tough to us as fifth graders. He's like, when you get to sixth grade, ain't no one gonna care. You know what I mean? Type of stuff. But he was really smart, and I always thought that guy probably knew it all. You know what I mean? I'm like, this guy knows it all, bro. He knows all the countries on the map. You know what I mean? He knows all the math. I always thought he knew it all, but he probably didn't know it all. He's probably just figuring it out just like we are right now.
Speaking of that, I think that's probably one of the best things you can actually take in life. Is a lot of times you feel like you need to know every single ounce of everything when you really don't. You just need to know enough. So I've always been the person who's kind of winged things, like I put things off to the last minute, and I'm realizing that's actually probably a strong suit that I should actually probably lean on more. The whole entire idea of winging it, you know. So when I do something now, I literally try to focus on doing everything I possibly can, right? And then as soon as I come into a problem, do quick little research, answer the problem, and then move on. Versus before, I would go and try to research every single thing about everything before I even got started. And I'm realizing that's just the wrong approach. It's better to just hop into something as soon as possible, and then as soon as you run into an issue, then do research for that particular problem, and then get back at it.
You want to know something that kind of correlates to that in a way that I feel? So for the last 2 weeks at work, I've been working the back counter because our manager's has had some time off, right?
Right.
And when you're working the back counter in the parts department, brother, you got phones ringing, you got emails going off, you got texts in front of you, wholesale, retail. You have like 110 service advisor, 110 things going on at once, and it's all in front of you. And like the first 2 days of me doing a back counter, I was like 100 miles an hour, brother. My mind was just like, I need to get this, I need to go do that, right? Long story short is, like after day 3, what I ended up doing is when somebody asked me something, like say a service advisor, like one of them called me and said, hey, I need a price from Subaru for this part. Can you get it? Rather than me taking it and being like, yes, sir, I'll get to it in a little bit, I dialed Subaru right then and there, brother. Like I pulled it up, I dialed Subaru, and I'm on it. I'm multitasking. I'm building other parts out while I'm waiting. And it just made the process so much more smoother for me. You know what I mean? Rather than waiting to get the task done, every single time, everything I was asked of to do, I did it then and there. And it kind of just made my day flow a little better. You know what I mean? I was pretty exhausted and at the end of the day pretty wore out, but it was better than putting everything to the side.
I love that because what's cool about that is you're not letting it linger on your mind,
Right.
Because once you start letting it linger, it starts becoming the snowball and starts building up and building up.
Yep. Yeah, and I got a lot done. I got a lot done. I got prices for everybody. Everything was taken care of essentially. You know what I mean? Excuse me. I didn't have to, come back to you and give you a quote. I was kind of like, if you give me a second, I'll call right now. I get it for you. You stay right here. No, I don't have to waste 2 minutes walking up front now to go take that to you. You're right there. So it was kind of one of those things,
That's
and it was
smart. Yeah, I like
it was good. Yeah, like so now when I work back counter, because I think I'm going to be working it more often. That's kind of my approach, and it's worked.
I kind of take that same approach with serving. It's like when you're a server, you have a million things to do, but a lot of times someone will ask you something right then and there, and it's like, you know what? Instead of doing that later, I think I'd rather just knock it out, as fast as possible. Then I can go back and do whatever. So I'm kind of always doing like a little time crunch balance where, okay, how much time do I have to accomplish this task? And how much time do I have to accomplish that task? And then I, weigh and vary everything and then go whatever I can get done the fastest.
Now let me ask you a question about that. So I've worked in food and beverage before, but as a cook, I've never worked as a server or front of the house, as you would call it. Is it mentally exhausting?
It is.
Is it? I mean, I figured
It
because
is.
the kitchen is mentally exhausting because it's like 100 miles an hour. Now, what about you guys?
It's the same exact thing. Like essentially, you feel like you have a billion things to do all at once, and you're constantly under a lot of pressure. You know,
And you still have to put up a face of, is there
A
anything I can
smile.
help you with? Right? Is there anything
Yeah.
else you guys need?
And you still get those bad comments where like, oh, this coffee took too long, or oh, this drink took too long. But ultimately, you just kind of blow it off. But you're constantly under pressure. You always have something to do. You're always behind, essentially. Like as a server, essentially, your whole entire night is literally the definition of being behind and having too much to do. And you literally got to learn how to multitask as fast as possible.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when I used to work in the kitchen, it was like we had a roulette wheel with like 30 tickets on it, with orders. That roulette wheel would probably be filled for about 4 hours, 100 miles an hour. The kitchen's 100 miles an hour, and then the prep team in the morning doesn't prep enough food, so then you have to pull somebody out from the cooking line to go cut onions and peppers, and it just makes it even worse. And people were screaming, plates are falling. It was crazy.
Yeah, one of my coworkers is kind of talking about that too, like in a different kind of way. He was saying that essentially, if we're just to cook dinner, we'd be fine. But the moment they throw in an appetizer, it throws
Everything
everything
off?
off. It's just like,
Have you ever watched the show The Bear?
no,
Oh
I
man,
never even heard of it.
The Bear is amazing, but it's a great show. Look up the show The Bear. It's a cooking show, and more so it's like a story of a restaurant. But that show gives me anxiety, brother. It gets my
It reminds you of
anxiety.
the past.
It gets my anxiety and like my heart racing, and I mean that means the show's doing its job, right? But like being someone who used to work in that field and then watching that show, my heart just starts going, bro. I'd be here like cooking some eggs, watching it, and I'm just 100 miles an hour. It's a really good show. You should check it out if you have the time. But yeah. So it's mentally draining for you guys too, then, huh?
But I love it. I love it. Essentially, I literally get paid basically to give you food and have a conversation with you.
Yeah,
And
meet some pretty cool people, I assume.
Meet really cool people, and it's my favorite job. Honestly, I loved it, and I fell in love with it. Weirdly enough, because I'm going to school for nursing, so I needed something that I can do part time. But I ended up falling in love with serving, to be honest.
It's one of those things where a lot of people don't leave it. You know what I mean? A lot of people keep doing what they're doing, and they have that as a little side hustle. I worked with people when I worked at the restaurant who had like regular jobs, like for example, an office job, and they served that night because they liked it. They're like, it's good money. You work 4 hours. They're like, you work for 4 hours, you get $100. You get to talk to people, and I get some free food. Why not? You know what I mean? That's kind of like what they would say. And I'm like, word, like. So you're what am I? So you're like an attorney accountant during the day? You know what I mean? But yeah, it's pretty cool.
Oh, you have another question for us?
My other question was, it's pretty deep. What does Asante say?
If it's not deep, it's not me.
Anyways, what's it called? Do you think you were happier 10 years ago? So think back, 2016. Where was Asante Martin in 2016?
I think I was happier 10 years ago, but for a different kind of reason. I was happier 10 years ago for one reason, and it's because it was the whole entire idea of not knowing, to be honest. That was literally the reason why I was so happy. It's like the whole entire idea of not knowing. I feel like the more you know, to a way, the more miserable you kind of become. But to a certain degree, it could be the inverse. The more you know, the more happier you become. But for me, knowing everything, I do feel like I was happier when I was less informed, because less to think about.
That's kind of one of the reasons why I don't really watch the news anymore. Is you consume it, you inform yourself, you watch this, and you leave, you go to work, and your anxiety's up. You're thinking about all the BS that they just said. Your gas bill is gonna go up or whatever it is. You know what I mean? And it just stresses you out a little bit. You might not even think about it, but you're thinking about it.
Yeah. Same thing with the economy. When you think about the whole entire economy right now, that's stressful.
Yeah.
10 years ago, we didn't have that. I mean, obviously, the economy's never been perfect, but it was
But
never.
do you think that 10 years ago we didn't think about it because we were just out of high school? Or do you think that now, since we're like a part of the economy, we're constantly looking at what's going on?
I think it's also the responsibility stack.
Right.
As you get older, more responsibilities come in, you have bigger bills, and, it just becomes like this never ending cycle where you're just going and working and that's it. Versus, 10 years ago, working was kind of new. So it was still kind of exciting.
For sure. Well, there you have it. For me, myself, and I would say that personally, I am more happier now. Now, back then, it was what, 2016. I was going to college. I was working probably at GMC, and my day was stacked. My day started like at 5:30, 6 a.m. Get to work. It was in Henderson, so the next small city over. Drive to work. I would leave at 4 o'clock. Come home, change real quick, go to the 7-Eleven and get some 7-Eleven taquitos for dinner, and then go do my college courses. You know what I mean? And it was like that almost every single day. It, excuse me. And it was exhausting. You know what I mean? It was. I mean, not
That was exhausting for you?
Not saying that it's exhausting now, but it was just like I'm physically tired when I got off of work because of the work we did. Then I'd have to sit through I'd have to sit through I don't know, Nevada history, whatever. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, nah, dude, I don't want to be here. You know what I mean?
I love school. So.
But yeah, I mean, I had less stress for sure because I was living at home with mom and dad, and the economy, quote unquote. I guess I wasn't really paying attention to it, so it wasn't bad. But essentially, I feel like I'm happier now. You know what I mean? I got my kids, got a house, got a job, got a podcast with my best friend. So yeah, for sure I would say I'm happier now.
I guess ultimately I would probably say I'm happier and sadder in different kinds of ways. You know, ultimately.
You could only pick one though.
Only pick one.
You could only pick one. Are you happier then or happier now?
I don't know. I think I do have to stick with the past just because I just felt free.
Right.
You know, I really felt free, and now I feel like the responsibility is stacking.
And now I think we are both fortunate, and we are both in a position where, luckily, our families were supportive of us going to college and us staying home, because not everybody has that. You know, some kids have to join the military because they have nowhere to go right after high school. You know what I mean? And then that's stressful. Some people might end up homeless or couch surfing because they don't have nowhere to go. So we were actually very, very lucky that we have supportive parents, and our parents were willing to, give us some buffer to figure things out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because not everybody had that situation. I mean, for ones, I know people who were not in that situation. You know, who 10 years ago they were literally trying to figure out their day by day. I was going to college with them, but they're literally trying to figure out their day by day. You know, like, oh, where am I going to stay tonight? You know, what am I going to eat type stuff. They were still going to school because of the grants and scholarships, but all their other stuff was kind of like they were still trying to figure that out, which is tough. So we were lucky. Did you have another one?
All right, let's see. Next question I have for you, Mr. Chewy.
Dun, dun, dun. You need to add some sound effects to our videos.
I did actually. Last time you did the Dragon Ball Z thing, I added it. I love that part. Yeah.
I added on my last video. I added the 3 days later. I was switching off.
3 days later.
Okay, this is kind of a fun one. Would you rather be rich and unknown or famous and broke?
Rich and unknown?
Yeah.
Sign me up, bro.
Rich and unknown?
Rich and unknown, sign me up, man. Heck yeah. Can you imagine? I'm going to have a beautiful house in Lake Tahoe next to the lake with a Porsche sitting out there. Ain't nobody going to know my name.
Actually, we're gonna change it up.
My whole family ain't gonna know who I am.
That's too easy to answer.
Oh, man.
We're changing it up. That was too easy to answer. Like I said, if it's not deep, it's not me. So we're changing it up. That's way too easy.
I got one. I got one. If you want me to go first.
Okay, no, go ahead.
Okay, so I just asked you, were you happier 10 years ago or now, correct?
Correct.
Now I'm going to ask you kind of an inverse, but a little different. What is something you look forward to in 30 years?
30 years, huh?
So we will be 60, sir. God willingly, we're still alive. We'll be 60.
The number one thing I look forward to in 60 or 30 years is if I do everything I said I would.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we are going deep.
If I do everything I said I would, then I'll be happy in 30 years. If I live with regret, where it's like, dang, I wish I would have pushed YouTube longer. I wish I would have traveled. I wish I would have did that. Then to me, then I wasted my life, literally. I want to go travel. I want to do all that kind of stuff. Like I'm into cars for a lot of part of it, but I do actually want to travel. Like I want to visit Germany, visit like the Holocaust places. Like you were telling me about that when you
Yeah,
went.
I went to Dachau, near Munich, when I went to Germany, and it was one of the eeriest sights and feelings and things I've ever witnessed.
Yeah,
You
you're
know what I
saying you
mean?
could feel it in your soul. Like
Oh yeah.
I wanna go experience that. So I literally want to go travel Japan. I want to do all these things. So for me is if I stay at my house and I'm staying and looking at my phone every single second of my life, I'm gonna feel like I completely wasted my life away. I don't want that to happen. So that's literally why I've been trying to put the phone away. I'm done with that. Literally, I just want to make posts and kind of move on. I want to be as present as possible.
Can I add something to that? As a parent myself, and as a content creator, that we are trying to be, that is a challenge for me, brother. That is a challenge for me because I work all day, 10, 11 hours a day, and I get home and I want to work on content. I want to edit. I want to create reels. I want to do this, but I have kids, bro, and it's so hard to be present with them and to be creative on your phone, on your medias. And it's like at the end of the day your kids are more important. So I have this, you can call me whatever you want, but I have this internal battle of I need to spend time with them and be with them, but I also want to create. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, they're more important than the creation. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I have to put my phone down, plug it into the charger, leave it there, put my AirPods away. And it's just one of those things that it's hard. It's hard. I mean, I think if we weren't doing content like we are right now, if we weren't pushing as hard as we are, if we weren't creating as hard, I'd probably just get home, throw the phone away, and you're fine. You know what I mean? But maybe this is something nobody talks about. But the simple fact that I'm off of work, I come home, I've been seeing my kids all day. I want to see them. I want to interact with them. I want to play with them. I want to do everything. But I also want to create and make reels and be present. And you know what I'm talking about. It's hard. It's a balance that I know what the answer is. The answer is spend time with your kids. You know what I mean? Because they're not getting any younger. They're only getting older, and then time flies. But at the same time, it's like I also want to grind. You know what I mean? But that's just kind of one of those things where I want to be more present with them, but somehow, some way, I also have to figure out how to be creative.
See, I don't think you're wrong, but what I do kind of think is life's about balance, right? So, say you did hustle a lot more, you put a lot more energy into that. Yeah, you might miss a couple days with your kids for now, but if everything works out, you'll be able to quit your 9 to 5, and now you just gain 11 more hours with your kids.
I,
See what I'm saying?
I understand that 110%, but I feel what maybe nothing against you because you don't have kids. That is true, but when you have when you finally catch up and you have that time, your 2-year-old's not gonna be 2 anymore though.
Yeah.
Your 2-year-old's gonna be maybe 5, 4, 6, who knows? Those are some of the most special years of their life. You know what I mean? When they're 2, you are their whole world. You know what I mean? You are everything to them. I mean, you've seen it. So that's where, like, you know what I'm saying? We were talking about a balance, but you're also losing some of the crucial years, you know?
But I do think as when they get older, you'll get a little bit more of your time back, because
I hope so.
they won't be so dependent on you per se. So,
I don't mind them being
everything.
dependent, you know what I mean? I don't mind being dependent. I don't mind them being there. I want to be there. It's just kind of one of those things that I don't know how people do it. You know what I mean? There's people who create content every single day and they're pushing content every single day and I'm like, man, how are you guys parenting? You know what I mean? That's what I ask myself. How are you parenting and being this creative, or you're producing this much product at once? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And maybe they don't feel like me. Maybe they don't care. Maybe their mindset's a little more like, I'll get my time back with them when I get successful. But I don't think that way. Me, myself, and I. You know what I mean? But I just wanted to add into that.
That's an interesting take. I do believe life's about balance, though.
For sure.
Life's about balance.
Now, yeah, you kind of took the words right out of my mouth because you said, you know, if you stick to everything you said you're going to do, you're going to be successful, right? So I feel the same way. I want to be in the same, I think exactly what you just said. I'm just going to be a little more personal with it. And it's two things. One thing I'm excited about is to see my children grow up and maybe meet my grandchildren if I get to the chance. And believe it or not, one thing I would definitely look forward to sitting here right now, you know, January 11th, 2026, is doing this with you, brother. Like,
Yeah.
seeing you
30 years later.
seeing you with like a gray beard, you know, and you know, seeing who you become and who you will be, and hopefully we can just keep this going, bro. You know what I mean? Watch ourselves grow old, you know, and maybe keep doing this. Maybe in 30 years you'll be seeing like hologram versions of us. You know what I mean?
AI versions.
Like, you'll see like, you know, like in Star Wars when they open up the thing and it's like just a hologram of people. Maybe you'll be able to do that. Maybe you'll be able to put on some glasses and you'll be able to sit here with us. I don't know, but that'd be something definitely that I look forward to because I look forward to every time we do this. You know, you got a question?
Okay, let's get it.
Was that a good one or no?
That was a good one. That was a good
That was a good one, right? I just came up with that, just straight on the spot.
All right, this is going to be the last question we got.
Last question.
We're running out of time here. Okay, let's see. Oh, okay, got it.
All right, we're back.
Should people follow passion or money?
Ooh. Damn, that's
Yeah,
that's
yeah. Let's
that's
go.
sauce right
Let's
there.
go.
Man, I've seen people who make money and are miserable. I've seen people who make a lot of money at work and they are some of the most miserable people you ever see. You know, I don't know what their home and life situation is, but I know that they're miserable. You know, I know that they hate
They come to work
they hate
and they just
coming
have
in
that look on their
every
face.
single day. They hate everything about it, you know. But their kids go to private schools, you know what I mean, and all this and that. So I would say passion,
Chase passion.
because if you have a passion, and if you can figure out how to make money with it, you're gonna be happy. You know what I mean? Or you maybe to a point you'll be happy, because I feel like sometimes even your passion will take too much time. Will take, you know, because like for example, never mind. I take that back.
I know it's hard to answer because
It is, because let me tell you this: we love cars. We grew up working on cars. We grew up loving cars. But when we worked on cars, I personally, me myself and I was miserable. You're miserable too.
I was miserable. Yeah.
And then you get off of work and you hated working on your cars.
Even
you
to
didn't
this-
even want to touch your cars.
Even to this day, I look at my car. I'm like, dang, dude. I should create a reel about that like
You know?
yesterday.
But they put like the financial part in us, where like when you look at something and you're like, oh man, that pays an hour and a half. I don't know if I want to go change that belt right now. You know what I mean? I don't know. Like that was quote unquote passion, right? But it made us miserable. You know.
I'm trying to think of an answer because I don't quite have the perfect answer.
But then you've always said that if you make, because the whole reason why Sante is doing nursing is because if he can do nursing, he's going to have the time and hopefully the finances to do what he's passionate about, which was racing. Because you're on 3 and you're off 4. So he'd be able to race on the weekends and he'd hopefully fund his passion. So now that's the opposite.
I don't know how I feel anymore because even we can go back to Will Smith. Have you seen what he's been talking about lately?
No, I have not.
So Will Smith, everyone knows him as an actor, right? But you know what he's actually passionate about? It's not even acting.
I've
you know
seen
that?
no, I don't know what he's passionate about, but I've seen him with doing a lot of like Net Geographic stuff, traveling and like documentaries like that.
Here's what Will Smith's passionate about. He's actually passionate about rapping.
Oh, I thought he was gonna say slapping people.
He's passionate about rapping, actually. Like, that's literally what he loves to do. But he ended up being better at acting. So he put all his energy and effort into acting, and look what his career has gotten him.
His rap wasn't bad either,
It wasn't bad.
and it was
but-
clean. No, it was one of those things.
But
His
yeah,
rap.
he's infinitely more successful as an actor. So it's just like, okay. I believe everyone kind of tries to put life into black and white, and I believe the answer is always somewhere in the middle. It may not be perfectly in the middle. It could be maybe 75% or maybe like 25% or something like that. But I believe the answer is always somewhere in the middle, in between, where it's like, okay, I'm not super passionate about this, but I do enjoy it and it makes me enough money doing it. And then you can always have that as just your job, and then essentially you can still go do what you're actually passionate about on the side, whether it pays you or not. So my answer is going to be somewhere in the middle, but I do think as far as money-wise, you should lean towards something that does actually pay you something, because you got to live, ultimately.
Yeah, it ain't cheap.
Living's not cheap, yeah.
So I would say money then.
Money?
I'm gonna say money then, because if I'm looking at it this way, if I go to work and I'm miserable, but I can go, if I can go to the racetrack on the weekends and drive a Porsche
And support your family.
and support a family, I'm gonna be a lot more happier than if I'm chasing my passion and my passion isn't making me any money. But like you said, there's always a middle ground to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think the perfect balance would be not to focus purely on money and not to focus purely on passion. Unless your passion happens to pay you a lot of money, then you lucked out. But
Because I'm sure there's a lot of examples of people who chase their passion and are broke.
probably a lot of artists.
A
A lot of people who make music, a lot of people who paint, that kind of thing.
And nothing against them, it just didn't work out. But if you made money and you made art on the side, maybe you could promote it more because you have the money.
Or you just need to lower your expectations of how much money you're really going to make with it. Because not everything is created equal, Some things just happen to provide more value than others. You just kind of have to accept that.
Yeah.
So it could be, okay, I'll do this. I'm passionate about it. It's going to pay me some money. And just accept it's just not going to give you.
But I'll tell you what, funny story, because so me and my wife talk about this sometimes. Me and my wife, we talk about oh, why didn't we do this when we were young? Why didn't we do this when we were young? Why didn't we do that when we were younger? Why didn't we do this when we were dating? But we didn't have no money. We didn't have no money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like going to the club, if you go to Hakkasan here in Vegas, for a guy, it's $100. Women are free. You go in there, you start buying drinks, it's going to be expensive. So now we're like, hey, let's go to Hakkasan. But we don't want to leave the kids at home. You know what I mean? Why didn't we ever do it when we were young? Because it was expensive. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right.
Because it was expensive. Why didn't we travel here when we were young? Because it was expensive. And now you're making a little more money that you could do it. Maybe you don't have the time. Maybe you have kids. Maybe, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But we talk about it all the time. Like all the things that we should have done when we were young, but we didn't. And it ultimately comes back to, we weren't making as much money as we were back then as we are now. And that's why, I'll tell you what, though, I was autocrossing a lot more when I wasn't making money.
You definitely were.
You
I'm trying to get him back into it. Come on, guys. Come on, chat. I'm trying to get him back into it.
I will one day. But thank you guys for watching. You're watching Two Guys, One Garage podcast. We'll see you guys next week.
See you next week.
You want any closing statements?
Just do it. Like we were talking about last
it.
podcast. Just do it.
You got to edit that in.
Just
Do it! Don't let your dreams be dreams.
Oh my God. Just do it. Stop wasting time, guys. Let's go. It's 2026. It's a new year. Let's go.
You're going to make a reel out of this, okay? Guys, we're almost at 50 subscribers on YouTube. Please give us a follow so we can go live on our YouTube channel.
Please.
Post this on Instagram. I mean, how many people see it? I know a lot of people see it. Please link our YouTube to our Instagram.
I did.
Go give us a follow.
I did it.
So we can go live on our own platform to help this thing grow. And we would appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Let's go. Good stuff.
That's a wrap.